Okay, so we're going to talk about Ivy's training so we can stay consistent at home and transfer the training from here to in your house. So we're going to start by going over all of Ivy's commands. Heel is loose leash walking, meaning walk next to me on my left hand side. So when you ask her to heel, it means stay with me. When you take Ivy on a walk, 80 to 85% of your walk should be structured in the heel position, nice loose leash. When you want her to sniff the grass or she doesn't have to walk exactly next to you, let's say there's no one else on the trail that you're walking on and she can have a little bit more freedom, you would tell her free. Free means she does not have to be in that command anymore and she can walk ahead of you, but she still can't pull on the leash. So you want to make sure that if she starts to get too excited and the leash gets tight, give her a little leash correction. No, don't pull, but you're still free. Or how about you heel instead? So heel, loose leash walking on the left hand side. To reward the behavior, you can praise, pet, or give her treats while you're walking. I recommend having treats on you for the first couple of weeks especially. That way we can transfer the respect in the training easier in the home. So treats help with that along with having a leash on her in the house. So to go over the rest of her commands, we have sit. Sit means stay is implied until she's told free or heel. One command can break another. We have down stay, so lay down and stay. Again, one command can break another. You can tell her free or heel for her to get up from the down stay. The key is don't free her from a distance. That way her stay is really strong. And then we move on to place. Place is a boundary stay, so she can go to place when guests come over or when you're eating, so she's not begging at the table or anything like that. Again, with place, if you want her to get off of the bed, we always go to the place bed, reward her for doing a good job, and then tell her free to get off of the bed. Then we have come when called. So come when called means come from point A to point B. So if you work on her freedom, and as long as you work on leash first, she will be to an off leash point in her training. Make sure you don't practice around anything dangerous like traffic, but if she's off exploring, you call her to come to you, she runs to you, she gets the reward, and we go on from there. If not, we'll show you how to correct unwanted behavior here in a second using her training equipment. Next we have leave it. So if you drop anything off the floor, say leave it so she doesn't eat it. Like practice with safe food like hot dogs, chicken, and then if you ever drop pills or anything, leave it is a helpful command for that. So let's talk about her training equipment so we can stay consistent in the home. Like I said before, you want to reward behaviors that you want to see. That way you'll increase the rate of the behavior if you reward it and associate it with a positive action. The exact opposite happens with corrections. If you correct a behavior, it will decrease in the rate that she does the behavior. So we're going to use the remote collar to go over a quick function. The collar itself has a red magnet right here, and the remote has a matching red magnet on the side. We are going to touch the two together, and you'll see a green light, meaning the collar is on, but the remote is still not turned on yet. To turn on the remote, on the back of it, we have the on-off button right here. We are going to push and hold that until the screen lights up and we can see the number 15. Ivy's correction level is 15 out of 100 right now. That could change, but I'm going to show you the rest of the features of the remote collar at the end of the video. That way you can have that detail. So for the primary function of the remote is to correct unwanted behaviors from a distance so you can eventually fade away from needing a leash all the time. So we're going to focus on the black S button right here to correct unwanted behaviors. So for example, let's say I'm taking Ivy for a walk and I'm in a heel position, so she should be walking next to me on a loose leash, and she tries to walk too far ahead. I'm going to tell her no, push the black S button, and then remind her heel. It will always be in that order. You will mark the incorrect behavior with the verbal no, pair it with the correction, and then repeat the command. That way she knows what she can do to earn a reward rather than just trying to pull ahead. So we don't want to just correct, we also want to tell her what to do instead so she can earn treats. So that's the main function of the remote collar for all of her commands and for any other behaviors that she does at home that you're not quite a fan of. So that could be anything like jumping on the counter or jumping on people. Correct the behavior and then give her something more productive to do so she knows what she can do to earn rewards versus just get corrections. Then we have her slip collar. This is going to be helpful on walks to help guide her in the beginning. The slip collar just fits on like this. And then this tab slides down so she can't slip out of it. If she were to try and back out, she can't slip out of the collar. It will tighten if she puts pressure on it. So when you take her for a walk, the leash should be nice and loose. You can also have this on her in the house to guide her where you want her to go. Like in the beginning, you want to have some sort of leash on her so you can show her what your expectations are. And whenever you use this slip collar, it's pressure on, pressure off. So it's a very quick little tug and release. Not a whole lot of just pulling the leash tight. Your leash will attach to the end here to use the collar. So it'll look like this with a leash attached. So that's her training equipment. Again, I'm going to go over more of this in detail at the end of the video. And so the main takeaways are reward behaviors you like to increase the rate of those behaviors. Use these tools to correct unwanted behaviors to decrease the rate of those behaviors. Stay consistent. It's very important that we show Ivy that we understand the rules at home. Have fun, and now we're going to show you Ivy's commands. Sit. 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 Sit.
Strategic Farm Marketing is a trusted partner that provides crop insurance and grain marketing services across the Midwest. We aim to inform, educate, inspire, and provide real-world tools to meet ever-changing demands and challenges of managing a farm business in today's environment. Our innovative decision-making tools allow us to simplify the crop insurance and grain marketing decisions and maximize profitability in your farm. Visit us at www.farmmarketing.com or call us at 356-0046 to see how our services can benefit your farm and operation today.
Down. Good girl. Down. Down. Good girl. Good. Down. Down. Free? Good job. Sit. Good girl. Sit. Sit. Free. Leave it. Good girl. Okay. Good job. Okay. You can get that one. Good job. Okay. Leave it. Good girl. Good job. Good girl. Free. Place. Good girl. Place. Good. Place. 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 Okay, so we're gonna go over the rest of Ivy's remote collar functions. So we've turned the collar on by touching the red magnets. To turn the collar off, you can also touch the red magnets and you'll see a red light. So now the collar is turned off. I like this feature because Ivy can't turn the collar on or off herself, so you know it'll be working as long as it's charged. To turn off the remote, the on-off button, you would just push and hold it until the collar shuts off. We're going to turn it back on here for a second so you can see the rest of the features. So we turn the collar on, good to go. So let's go over. The black S button is going to be level 15, so whenever you push that button, that's the regular correction level. We have the red button over here. This is for emergencies only. So let's say, for example, you're practicing come when called. You take her to a park or of some sort, or you're just practicing in the neighborhood. I recommend having a leash on it first, definitely, in any new environment or new training situation, and then work your way to off leash once you've established the foundation of training there. You have this for emergencies, so it is going to add 15 to her level. So let's say, for example, she just takes off towards the road and you've called her back and she's not listening and you've tried correcting at level 15. The red button is going to go up to level 30. You will keep hitting that until it gets her out of that mode. So a lot of times when dogs' adrenaline's pumping, they might not feel the regular level that works. So we increase it to hopefully kind of snap them out of it and get them back to reality and focus on us. So that's why we have that. It's red for emergencies only. Then on the side we have the T button, which is vibrate. So that can be used in the future as a warning for Ivy if she's doing really well but then makes a little mistake. Hey, don't do that. The more consistent you are with this collar, the less you'll need it. So Ivy is really good at all of her training, but she's still going to be pushy with her boundaries. She's still going to see what you'll let her get away with. So the more consistent you are, the better off she'll be, you know, throughout her training. So next we have the flashlight feature. So the on-off button on the back, if you just tap it instead of pushing and holding it, she turns into a flashlight. Her collar will light up and you can see her at night. And that's why it's really important when you put this collar on to make sure that the light is facing out. Ivy can wear this collar 10 to 12 hours a day, take it off at night. It's waterproof, it's rechargeable, so if she gets wet while wearing this, it'll still work just fine. But you want to make sure you take the collar off and dry her skin and hair thoroughly, because if not, moisture will get trapped in there and then it'll form a bacteria, which could lead to a skin infection. So that's the remote collar. It should last about 2 days on a charge, but it is rechargeable. Underneath here is the charging port, and we have this bungee quick snap. I like it because the bungee has a little bit of give and it prevents it from getting too tight, but this should fit snug, allowing only 2 fingers. That way the contacts make good connection with Ivy's skin so we can stay consistent and she'll feel the collar. The charging port for this is on the back here. And we have this little M/C button that stands for momentary and continuous. As long as you don't push down and hold the button, you don't have to worry about changing the mode. Right now it's momentary, so no matter how long I hold my finger down on the black S button, it will only give that momentary stimulation. If you change it to continuous, it will continuously stimulate the entire time you're holding down on the button. She just doesn't need that in her training right now. That was something we did in the past with much lower levels. Level 15 is what she's at right now. This may change. Right now it is locked. So this is the dial right here. I'm twisting it up and down, but it's not changing because we have it locked. To unlock the dial, you will push down and hold it until the 1D is flashing. When the 1D is flashing, you can adjust the level lower or higher, however you need to. So right now 15 works for Ivy. We just want a level that's just enough to discourage unwanted behavior, but it's not scary. That way she doesn't do things to earn a correction, right? She listens to the commands, gets rewards. So if she needs something that's a little lower, move down to 10, or if 15 is not enough at home, bump her up to 20, but 15 seems to work right now. So then once you have it at the level you want it at, we are going to push down and hold this to make sure it stays at 15 so we don't accidentally turn it up or down while we're training. So I'm going to turn this off, tap, see a red light, the collar is off, push and hold until the screen is blank, and then this is off. Again, it lasts about 2 days on a charge, and it only takes a couple hours to charge. In this box, we have the original strap that came with the collar. We also have the charger that will charge both the remote and the collar at the same time. Then we have this tool over here that will tighten the prongs on the collar. You shouldn't need to, but just in case, you have it. And then these are extender prongs for long hair. We don't have to worry about that with Ivy. And then this is the instruction manual if you have any questions about the collar or the buttons, and it goes into greater detail. Last thing, this has a 2-year warranty, so if anything happens to this model, send an email. I would send them an email now letting them know that you purchased this collar, so if anything happens in the next 2 years, you can get the model replaced. They have excellent customer service, so it should be pretty easy if anything were to happen, which it shouldn't, but just in case. So again, make sure to reward behaviors you like, correct behaviors you don't want to see anymore. Stay consistent. That's the most important part. The more work you put in with Ivy, the more she's going to understand training and the better results you're going to have with this program. So like always, have fun and stay consistent.